We're glad you're joining us today to talk about our stitching and other stuff.
Late night edition.
Late night edition. So we might be loopy. It might be a funny one. Who knows what you're going to get when you get us.
Or a really boring one.
Or we're just going to be droopy. So we were together this weekend, but we didn't have time at all to record while we were together because it was a weekend full of family festivities. We had birthday party for my brother's little one, Penny, who just turned 2, and she's so cute. So cute. Yeah, I wish I was there snuggling her right now, even though she doesn't snuggle like at all. She's so busy. I still pick her up and I just smooch her all over.
Yeah, just snuggle her like at bedtime. And she gets really
I know, but I'm never there at bedtime.
I know. You just need to
I'm
come
not like Auntie who lives close enough to babysit. I wish I was. So that was fun though, but she loves my girls and my girls love her. So
she
was fun.
Loves the cousins. And she says the word cousins. Her speech has kind of been slowly coming. Yeah, that apparently they came over to our house for dinner tonight. Sarah had already left and they were driving down our street. She knows our street. And she's like, Mimi, Poppy, cousins? And she came running in the house and she stood in the family room. I told Sarah, and she's just looking around and she realized they weren't there anymore. It was very sad.
So sad. And my girls were sad too. They were like, I just wish we lived next door to Penny. We love Penny so much. They love it. But they got to follow her around and she loves to carry them around or pull them around. So that was fun. And then this morning we had a brunch. We went out to brunch to celebrate Mom and Dad's 40th anniversary, a couple weeks late, but
the month, my anniversary month is over now.
Yeah,
we celebrated,
and that was nice. I thought it was really fun. It was nice. Those of us family who are in the area, and then a couple of friends, and my grandpa and Irene came down. That was fun. I'm glad they came down. That was special.
And then earlier in the week, Sam and Ashley were here in town from Indiana. My other
brother.
Right? They were in town for a funeral on her side of the family, and spent Thursday. Often on Thursday with me while I was working. My son was smoking a brisket on the smoker, so he was tending to it. And then we had him over for dinner, and Penny's mommy and daddy, and Sarah didn't get here till Saturday. So it's been
it's been like nonstop for us, like all last week.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to record because you were out of town last weekend. So it's been 2 weeks and it's been just packed. I feel like those 2 weeks have been so full.
Yeah, we didn't get home from Seaside until late Monday, and we just decided we didn't even talk about it because
we just kind of knew we weren't going to record last week. It was just going to be too much.
Yeah, and then I have, the thing about when you live without your kids at home and you've got all their bedrooms, they fill up with stuff when nobody's visiting, and we've had nobody here visiting overnight since you were here in June. So
that's what my guest room looks like too right now. I mean,
so I came back from Seaside on Monday and started, back to work on Tuesday, thinking, okay, I got to get to those rooms. I got to get those rooms cleaned up. And I wasn't sure if Sam and Ashley were going to be at our house at all. So anyway, it was just a busy week that way. Whew, yeah. And my husband was sick on their trip, and now I have his cold. So
yeah.
Although
you didn't sound bad or anything. I'm not hearing
slow burn cold though. Because after you left, I started the cough. Just the coughing and the coughing. And I took 2 doses of Dayquil over the course of today, and I didn't take hardly any yet. I took 1 dose yesterday and didn't even probably need it. So that's kind of what happened with Dad. He kind of had a sore throat, and then he kind of motored through, and he had times when he didn't feel really good, but then he kind of felt okay. And that's how I felt most of the weekend. But now my nose is running again. I'm sure it tastes neat, but yeah, I don't think it's COVID, although.
He never tested positive, so.
And this is the funniest thing to me ever, is that we're on the coast, and he didn't tell me that he wasn't feeling well before we left. So I didn't pack any cold meds or anything. And so we get to the hotel, and he says, well, I had a sore throat yesterday, but I just feel like a little head cold today. Well, as the weekend progressed, by Sunday, it had gotten into his chest, and he was coughing so hard. He coughs hard anyway. And I said, okay, that's it. We've got to get a COVID test, number 1. And number 2, we've got to get some Mucinex and some Dayquil for you. But the ironic thing is that the state of Washington, where Sarah and I live, has a test kit program. So every month you can send in a request for 2 COVID test kits. And I've been doing that for months, and you get 2, and
her like medicine closet is like wall-to-wall COVID test.
There's like 5 tests in a box too. And so I had to actually go buy a COVID test on the Oregon coast because I didn't bring one.
Ironic.
I was so mad.
Ironic.
$10. I've got all those free ones. Anyway, he was negative. He probably should have tested, but then he bounced back. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
Sunday was bad. And then Monday we drove home and he was feeling a lot better. And I'm like, well, I'm not bouncing back that fast. But it's been busy. Maybe if I'd rested more.
Yeah, he was just resting the whole time at the ocean pretty much. So
yeah, that's true. I have tea and honey tonight.
Oh, that's good. My favorite is lemon juice with hot water. Like I'll do hot water and put in like half a lemon, or I forget how much. The recipe is on simplyrecipes.com. It's just honey lemon tea. It's just lemon juice with hot water and then a good amount of honey in. And I love it. It tastes good. Like not like a lot of cold remedies do, but it also really does help my throat and my cough sometimes when I have one. That's a really yummy one. I'll try, maybe I'll put the link down below. You know, if you're new watching us, we're a mother and daughter team, Flosstubers. We're actually tri-generational, but my girls are in bed. It is late and they have had a super busy week. So it's just us tonight, but we are in Washington State and on opposite sides of the mountains, the coast, that range, the Olympic, no, not the Olympic range, the Cascade Range. See, it's late. You don't know what you're going to get tonight. And we have been doing this since 2020, COVID. It was our COVID project that has lingered on and on because we still love doing it.
We do. Yeah, we do, because we still stitch all the time.
And we don't have time all the time each week to talk a lot about our stitching. So if we set aside a little bit of time. I brought a previous finish over. I think the coloring, I think it'll work okay. Oh yeah, my color it's a little orangier, like it's a little less orangey than this in person, but it's not too bad. This is Jack's jig, and I stitched it probably about when we were starting to kind of really stitch a lot again. It was probably when I was starting to be not so monogamous as a stitcher. I kind of remember.
First and gave you the pattern.
Yeah, and I just used stash fabric. I buy a little bit more now, even though money's probably tighter than it was back then. But I think I had this fabric I got at actually Goodwill, and tea dyed it myself. It was probably my first
kind of getting into that.
Yeah, it was probably my trial, and it turned out kind of cute. I've stitched a few other things on that, but I love the French knots on this guy. I think he's so cute. This is Not Forgotten Farm. And you can get this pattern on Etsy. It's Jack's jig.
Those striped legs, I love it.
I know, he was fun to stitch too. And I didn't do the called for colors. I think I just pulled from whatever stash I had. It's just all DMC. Yeah.
I didn't put mine out. Oh,
you didn't put yours out.
No, but you know what? I just realized I do have a real.
It goes right here on my cute little hutch.
Oh, this is I do a previous
Cute it
finish.
looks.
It's very cute.
Oh, it's cute.
This is the previous finish that I stitched a long time ago.
Long time ago.
The
Oh,
Halloween one.
I bet I know what this is. Yes, I knew that's what
And this one, it doesn't show up, but those are glow in the dark threads.
Yes, and we show this probably every year.
Yeah.
So
But I'm sending it off. I'm sending it off to my oldest son, Andrew in Duluth, baby Junie's dad. He's not real nostalgic about a lot of things, but he's mentioned remembering this. And I used to have it. I had bought it like a chalkboard frame kind of thing, and I had painted it orange and then attached it, but it all broke apart. So they're going to have to find. It's just glued to the back. This is like the frame.
Oh, you just took the frame back and hot glued it on.
But they're going to have to figure out. But this will be easy to ship to them. But he mentioned it a couple times, and so I thought I'm going to ship this to them because he doesn't ask for much. You know, he's not going to care most about my stuff. But this is.
I remember that one a lot from my childhood too, because it would just come out for a little bit of time every year, and it was so fun that it glowed in the dark.
I think we used to run into the laundry room where there's no windows, and then because it has to sit in the light all day, and then see if
run it and look. It was fun. I'm glad he didn't have it. Correctly.
I think it was a real, you know what, to stitch.
Yeah, because of all those threads.
You can't see the sparkle, but I don't like there's sparkle in his like the yellow guys pants. Yeah, it's Krennic. What do you think? The pink tutu glows in the dark.
Is the glow in the dark thread? I haven't ever worked with it, but we have looked it up and shared in the past where you can still get it Is it hard to, is it like a regular floss that just is luminescent or?
I feel like it's kind of plasticky.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing from what I remember looking at.
And like, it feels plasticky. So I don't think the guys, the witch and he are not glow in the dark, except for maybe, I don't think so. I think it's just the ghost, the ballerina, and the clown, and then
I think so too.
Pumpkins and the border.
Yeah, I don't think all the pumpkins are either. I feel like it's just that one.
Yeah, just this one.
Yeah, and then the yellow border, and then orange, the star.
But yeah, it's sad that you can't see the sparkly green in that polka
I wonder
dot.
where you ever put all the rest of that thread.
I have it.
Oh, you know where it is?
It's right behind me in that box back there.
Fun. I should look for a project stitch for the girls.
I don't know what pattern it was. I don't know where I got the pattern. I'm thinking it was a magazine.
Probably.
I've never seen anybody else stitch it. I've never seen anybody else show it.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. I've never even seen anybody use glow in the dark threads other than that. I'm sure many people do. I just haven't seen it.
I don't know. I haven't seen it either. And I didn't ever do it again. I think I bought them for this specific pattern. And
it's funny.
I don't know. So anyway, I'm sending that to Andrew because I don't know. I think he's been feeling a little nostalgic lately anyway. Like he said one day, Cassidy told me, yeah, he said he was having a real deja vu moment. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, I was in the kitchen cooking and Junie was standing there in the kitchen playing with a toy. And he walked in and he goes, oh, that's just a deja vu. I remember my mom in the kitchen cooking all the time. And there was always kids in the kitchen playing with something kind of thing. And I think it's a sign of age when you start remembering more of your childhood. I remember a lot of my childhood.
Yeah. Maybe I'll remember more of it as I get older.
I think you do. Anyway, so those are our previous finishes.
Yeah, and we don't have a featured friend this week. So if you want to send us something in to show off for you, to do show and tell, you can email us at our email. It's down in the description box. It's stitchandstuffxs@gmail.com. And we don't have one this week. So that's fine, especially because it's late. We can kind of maybe move through this a little more quickly so that I can actually cross stitch tonight, maybe.
I know we do have a lot,
but we have a lot because we just all finished AB Singo, and I don't think they've drawn. I haven't seen anything about drawings for winners for those who got blackouts or bingos.
I feel like it took them a little while last time to draw.
Yeah, there's no pressure. I just kind of keep checking because I don't want to miss it, even though I'm sure I won't win. You know, like what are the odds?
Sarah and I both got blackouts.
We did. I was so proud of myself. Here, I'll show it.
I know. I'll show mine too.
Mine is all checked off. So I pretty much touched almost every single pattern that I'm working, every whip I have right now, because I have about 24. Oh, yours is so cute with the stickers. I didn't get that fancy this time. Normally I use like washi tape or something, but and I just kept it simple.
Sad thing is that because I did my blackout, I did not get my whip go done. Yeah. And I did not stitch at the ocean. I just didn't even, I brought it, but our hotel room it's an older hotel and it wasn't set up like some of the newer ones where you could move the TV. So like I could have sat at the desk and had my lamp and Dad would have sat on the couch, but I wouldn't have been able to see the TV because the TV was mounted on the wall a certain angle. Yeah. So I just knit. I needed to knit anyway.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of knitting too because we have a baby shower next week that I'm trying to finish. I actually have mine right here to show.
But I did catch up. When I got home, I worked on two one night, one the next night, one the next night. So I was behind 4, but I was determined to get that blackout. I was not going to fail.
I think I only was behind once with one night and I caught up. It was because of COVID. I didn't stitch when I was really sick. But then the next, like as soon as I felt better, I stitched kind of nonstop and caught up. But here, look at how far I am.
Those are so cute.
So it's like a little overall pattern, basically, like a little romper, sleeveless, like overall romper. And I had started, if you followed the saga of this, I started them a long time ago for a baby at my church. And then I kept being so worried that they weren't going to fit this child. And so I put it aside really, because I was like, oh, I don't know. So then I did decide, I lengthened the leg some because I was thinking it would fit this other child.
Yeah.
And then I still just kept looking at that baby like, I don't think so. So then I was like, well, I'm going to keep stitching it because I think I can give it to Kelly. I don't think she watches this, so I think you're safe thing for the baby that's coming in November. So I love it. It's just Hobby Lobby yarn. It's one of these. This is one of my haul. It's one of these like things. And I'm very close to separating it for the bib where the arms go. In fact, I might even be there now. I haven't measured this evening. So I've been doing lots of knitting. Do you want to show your knitting? Do you have it handy?
I did. I've been knitting. This is my maybe like 4th attempt at this sweater.
But it's coming. It's so cute.
So I just separated. So here's the sleeve stitches. They're now on placeholders, and now I'm just going to knit the body around and around and around. And then I'll come back and pick those sleeve, and then you can see the garter stitch panel that runs down the side of the sleeve. What happened was, okay, so I think last time I talked about the yarn I had bought was that I started working on was just too feminine. I just didn't like it. And mommy, I showed it to her, and I think she kind of felt like it was a little too girly for her liking. So it was fine. So I found another yarn in my stash, and it was, I don't know if I showed that last time.
You showed it? Oh no, because you haven't shown since the other one.
Yeah, I should have brought that in here because I don't think I ripped it all the way out. Anyway, it was a goldish yellow, and it had lots of black speckles in it. And I thought, oh, this looks pretty masculine. And it did. And I worked on it all the way down to Seaside. It was like a 3.5 hour drive from our house, and worked on it. And I don't know, we got down to the hotel, and I was looking at it, I go, I don't like this yarn either. The garter stitch panel that goes down, because it's a pattern, the speckles in that yarn just made the garter stitch look muddled. It didn't look like any kind of, it just looked muddy. And it wasn't a really soft yarn. It was kind of a springier yarn, and I wanted something a little drapier. Oh, luckily for me, there was a yarn store. There was actually 2, one in Cannon Beach, which is about 8 miles from where we stayed, and one in the town that we stayed in. So the first morning that we were there, we got up and had breakfast, and I said, we need to go to the yarn store. I need to find some different yarn. And so I found that yarn is a Malabrigo, and not Malabrigo. Yeah, Malabrigo.
It was a Malabrigo.
It's Malabrigo, which is just got a lovely.
That's one of my favorite yarns.
Yeah. And so I went down to the beach, and I ripped the other one off my needles, and I cast that one on, and away we went.
And now you're gonna finish it.
So anyway, that's the knitting portion. We don't always have knitting, but
but lately
I do knit.
I kind of have a little knitting bug back. Rosie really, really wants a sweater now. So I think once I finish this, she also keeps asking for socks, but she said, I want a sweater more than I want socks. So I said, yeah, you've got to choose one first. Like I can't knit them both at the same time.
My knitting usually comes
But if kids ask for something knit, it's hard for me to say no. Yes. Yes, Millie's sweater. So I had knit her a sweater, and the sleeves were like here on her, because I think she just grew super fast, and they were a little short, I think, to start with. And then by the time this fall came, I think she's grown. So I knit a good length on, so they go up. They're like extra long. So if she keeps growing. So she has her sweater all done and back. Now that the weather still hasn't turned quite, it's pretty warm here still, but in the next few weeks, as we get close to Halloween, usually it gets chillier here.
Yeah, it's usually chillier here too, except for, you know what, people, I'm in Seattle, and I'm sitting here with my window wide open, and I've got a fan going because it is,
I know, it's so weird.
Probably close to 80 today, and that is not normal. I was bemoaning the fact that we're not really getting fall foliage. It looks like, oh, look, the leaves are turning yellow, but they're not. They're just dead. They're just like fried. It's not like beautiful fall dead. It's fried all summer with no water dead, which is just not like Seattle to go this long. Without water. And I know we were just complaining about our spring being so wet, but this baby shower we're having next week,
I think we can have it outdoors.
We're not, because I looked at my backyard and there's no way. Our backyard looks like there was like a wildfire had gone through there.
I wouldn't have it in my yard right now either. It looks horrendous because
my hanging baskets, I stopped watering a month ago. They're just crisp. I need to take those down. I mean, I just don't think our yard looks nice enough.
Yeah.
It's just.
Oh, well, we'll just do it inside then. But
yeah, I mean, unless my yard looks really, anyway, I just looked at it and I thought, this is, when we had the baby showers the last time around, like for Penny, it was in August, but it wasn't as, it was hot, but I think we watered more. Because I knew I was going to have that shower. By the time we planned this shower in October, I'm like, well, why bother? It's going to be October. We're going to be inside.
Yeah.
And then we had this weird wacko weather. So yeah, I must have watered a lot more that year because it was, our yard was really pretty when we had the shower for baby Penny.
It was nice.
Yeah. So this shower that we're having next week is for baby Penny's new brother that's coming.
Yay. We're excited.
A boy.
Well, you want me to show first?
Sure.
It's all piled up. I might as well. Well, so I'll go through. I have a little stitching that's not AB Singo, but most of it is AB Singo. Oh, I forgot one. I'll grab it in a second. So first I did, actually, let me grab it.
Okay.
Real fast. It's just over here in the living room.
After everybody left today, I went through my AB single. The last of my AB singles are right here. And then I went and pulled out all my fall and a few Christmas pattern projects that I've been working on over the last year or two. And they're in a bucket down here. And I figured out my magazine monthly challenge, and we'll talk about that later.
Which I haven't done at all. I forgot. I was going to show this too. So this is not, also still not stitching. Sorry. Should put this stuff at the end maybe, but did I show that I had the quilt top all finished on this? And I've got the back on it and the warm and natural batting.
Had the back on it.
I just put the back on this week.
Yeah.
So now I've got it. Well, it's not sewn on, but it's pinned on. So now I need to sew.
Sarah's first attempt at a jelly roll quilt.
Yes. And so far, so good. I know for sure it's not going to line up all perfectly with the lines because the cuts that I got this, it's just the cheap yarn or cheap jelly roll from Walmart. They didn't cut it even. Like the patterns are going to be crisscross and crooked, but it's okay. It's just for fun to throw over the back of the couch. And I really wanted to finish it this week and I just didn't have time. So anyway, I grabbed that while I was over there too. But for what letter was this for me? I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. But I do want to remember because I'm gonna look. This was Z because it's an alphabet. I'm working on this one and I showed it not that long ago, but I've worked on it more since then, I think. I don't think I had shown this. No, I hadn't because I just did all that border down the side and another pea pod. So I'm really, really close. I just have X, S, T, U, V. I just have the letters T through Z to do down here.
Yeah, you're almost done.
Some border work. I know. I love it. Actually, I really like the colors I substituted in. I think they turned out really nice.
Yeah.
So that's really close to being done. Enjoying doing that one. And then I did for S, I had my star. I have that beaded realist star, which Jesse thinks is super pretty. He just, every time I pull it out, he's like, man, that is so pretty. So this is what it should look like when it's done. But I might make it into an actual ornament. I haven't decided. I got quite a bit done on this. Let me see, how does this go? I'm trying to remember which. It goes like that. I think it goes like
oh, that is pretty. And by the way, we tried to give this away as a giveaway. Nobody ever wanted it. So
I know, I was like, I'll just take it and stitch it. I like it. And I mean, it's slow going because it's beads.
Yeah.
But you use the same thread for all the beads. So I just do one thread and just look at the chart and put that bead on. And then, that seems obvious, but I mean, I've done other beading where you kind of have to change your thread to match the bead.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this one just came with all blue. And then there's a little gold for like some of the back stitching and stuff. But fancy project bag.
By the way, I get those bags at my beauty supply store when I buy my hairspray.
And it's perfect size. Well, it fits this really nicely. This is what I have all my beads in. So I can just slip this in where I feel like a Ziploc doesn't, it would work too, but this keeps it from like rattling around as much because it's narrow.
Step up from a Ziploc.
It's a step up from a Ziploc, even though it doesn't close at the top.
Which I don't think she's giving those bags away anymore because our state charges you for a dang bag now.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably gave up on those. 8 cents a bag. I'm like, yes, charge me.
I know half the time if I don't remember, but I'm just like, yeah, sure, I'll just pay for it.
Let me just put it this way. A bag surcharge has not made me any more responsible in taking in my 30 reusable bags that I have in my car.
It has, the cost hasn't so much for me as just, well, maybe I usually am pretty responsible.
I'm not responsible and I'm not aware and I'm in a hurry and I usually just run in and I think, oh, the bags are in the front seat of the car on the floor.
Yeah, that happens to me about 30% of the time. I'm stitching this and I'm just not in love with but I changed the colors.
Oh,
well, I changed the colors partly because I wanted it to be the color of my cow that I had probably at the time.
Do you want to get rid of?
Well, no, this is a different cow that we had, I think, when I started it, maybe.
Oh.
So I chose, I think I'm doing, it is a Weeks. I just can't remember, or Gentle Arts or something. It's, well, it's not Hickory Sticks. Which one is it?
Is there just not enough variegation in it like there is in the gray and the pattern?
Well, no, because actually what I don't love is that the sheep that's supposed to be a creamy white, does not show up on this oatmeal fabric. So I switched it to a gray because, okay, so the pattern calls for a gray cow, white sheep, black head, black cat. I've got a brown cow. A white sheep didn't show up, so I started doing gray. Now I don't know what to do with the cat.
Black cat.
Black cat, I know, but I don't know. I just don't know if the colors are being what I want.
Start over again on a different piece of fabric where you can use the gray cow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I haven't decided. I worked on it for a little while. But the more I was working on it, the more I was like, I don't know.
Done with that.
Looking the way I want it to look. But I might keep going and just, I might end up really liking it.
You might. You might.
I don't feel confident in my color choices on that one. Normally I don't second guess my
You
color.
never have a dark brown cow.
Yeah, well, not a dark brown, but jerseys are about that color. Haffy was our first cow, the Jersey.
I thought he was more of a tan.
Well, he's like a reddish brown. Not as red as
right. I guess it's been a while since you ate him.
Yeah. It has been a while since I ate him. Okay, speaking of same kind of animal, but different, Alpaca Farm by Blue Flower. I got some more, I think, done on this. Did I? Let me look really quick. Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. I mean, I was just stitching on grass, so it's not really exciting. But here's the design. Here's the drum. There's the pattern. Cute. I know, I love this one. It's so delicate because I'm doing it over 1 on 40. I think 1 on 40. Teensy weensy. I did.
Yeah, you're doing it over 40. I think you're doing it over 40.
Yeah, it's not actually that hard. This specific fabric is, I don't remember if it's even weave. I've got the, what is this? I don't know, maybe I don't have the tag anymore. I thought I did. On here though. I really like, I think it must be an even weave. It's very easy to see. Get going.
Did we have 2 weeks between our last 2 podcasts again?
Before?
No,
it's been
just
2 weeks since we last recorded. Yeah, because you were at the ocean.
2 weeks of baby single again?
Yeah.
Seen some.
What? Oh, you're missing.
I think I put one away, but that's okay. No big deal.
Well, it wasn't a full 2 weeks because we recorded on the 18th. So it was the 19th, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. It's actually really just a week because then the was there on the 25th? Oh, 25th.
Oh, the 25th was on Sunday. So yeah.
There's really just a week's worth.
Yeah.
The other week.
Right. Got it.
I worked on my Riolis sunflowers and got, I mean, I don't do the before and after photos for this, but this pattern would probably benefit from showing where I was, where I am. But I think I had to do a bunch. I think I ripped out twice. I had made some mistake in this yellow one time, and then I did it over, and then I realized I made another miscount somewhere else. Anyway, that was kind of frustrating. I kept having to frog it.
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty?
It is beautiful. And you can still get that kit at Hobby Lobby.
Yes, you can. I see it there all the time. And it is fun to work with that wool. It's so, let me see if I can show. the texture. Like it's not like working with DMC.
Got a really different look about it.
Yeah, it's like fuzzy. It has a halo to it like yarn does. It really is like working with a very fine yarn. It's but it's very small. Well, I worked on my sunflower.
Do you not have any of the Amazon zipper bags?
Some, yeah, but I gave a lot of them to the girls.
Okay.
Like I have 4 of us that I have to split
I
projects.
just noticed another Ziploc bag sneaking there.
I know. Well, yeah, I don't have money to buy a bunch all the time, and the girls have some, and I have some. I know I just need to buy some, but yeah.
No, you don't. I mean, your Ziplocs are working for you. I'm just giving you a bad
Ziplocs work. They don't really fall out. I most of the time I keep them zipped up pretty good, and I have everything like in a basket side to side, so it's not like falling all out. Thankfully, I did get some done on this. Or I can't. Okay, for kind. The word kind is in that one. And here it is.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
This pattern is a lot.
It's huge. It's really huge. Look at all of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stitching in that piece.
And it's my second go because I didn't like the fabric I chose the first time. But I didn't get that far really. I started at a different spot. And this time I decided to start at the top left rather than her dress.
We both started over. On our fabrics.
Yeah, that's right. I had a terrible fabric last year. It was that Amazon stuff. Frugality doesn't always work. Bookshelf. It's from my Aunt Nancy. She gave me all the supplies for this. I had the threads that I got myself. But she gave me the fabric and the pattern. I have it on my frame, which I really like. So this sits on my piano. And the girls are always like, Mom, you need to work on the bookshelf. Mom, you got to work on the bookshelf because they want to see what comes next. So I did all of this week. I might have done these. Oh, I think these were done already. I think I just did all this stitching. That was about 100 stitches. And that was kind of a rush. This was one I think that I was supposed to do during COVID or when I had COVID. And so I kind of did like 100 stitches and put it away and pulled out the next thing.
Yeah.
I'm almost done. Okay. And then I worked on my farmer's market from Told in a Garden, which looks like this. My lighting is actually kind of perfect here tonight. Like I was worried it wasn't going to work very well. And I'm working on all those quilts really right now. So I'm missing a color somehow. I think it must have. This is in an actual zipper bag, and somehow I still lost a color, which I don't do even in Ziplocs on that quilt. So I need to go rustle it out of my stash. So I probably have another skein of it. And then I started on another. I did the frame or the clothesline or whatever, and another start.
Cute.
So that's really pretty.
A lot of stitching on those quilts.
Yeah, it is. And each quilt is different, so it's really pretty.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure I was going to like the colors, but I didn't change the colors. I kept them.
Yeah.
And I actually really do like them.
I do too.
They're a little dated, I think, but the pattern itself is kind of like a
dated
fashioned. Yeah, kind of fits the pattern. Okay, the last thing I have. Yeah, the last thing is my Shores of a Half Crown Hollow. You know, I'm not even in a regular Ziploc, by the way. This is the bag the pattern came in. And with my fabric sticker on the outside.
I don't think it'll fit in a Ziploc.
I don't think so. I would need a real pattern, a real project bag. And once I finish a project, I'll probably put this one in one.
Yeah.
And it's motivating to finish. So I'm working on that one with the mermaid on the top, as you've probably seen. And I'm getting there. I'm getting close, you guys. I'm like getting close.
I saw today on Facebook or Instagram, because people are now showing all their fair prizes. And this gal entered her year at Hawk Run Hollow, which is the other one I'm working on. She finished it. She got best in show for it.
Oh, wow.
And then she got another, she had entered like 3 things and she got firsts and seconds on them.
Oh,
but it was, I thought, okay, I looked at it. That she's used all the same. She used all the same DMCs that I'm using. Her fabric choice looks pretty similar to mine. I thought, okay, just hang in there. I put mine on hold because I'm working on the Christmas one, but I think, yeah, it's always nice to see it done.
Yeah, that's fun. Speaking of the fair, the girls and I all got blue ribbons. Somehow, so it was due to be delivered when I was sick with COVID. So Jesse took it in, even though he was coming down with it too, but he wore a mask and he was like, here you go. But I think the people who were taking the cross stitch maybe didn't know what they were doing. And I didn't know. This was our first time. I should have sent the registration confirmation with him, but it didn't say, make sure you bring this with you. So that he had to fill out paperwork. But then he said, I know for sure I checked that you were not that you're adult, but somehow, somewhere it got thrown in. They probably thought, oh, here's 4 youth entries, and mine got judged in the youth category. But our fair is so small now. It was actually smaller than usual, which made me kind of sad. Yeah. Like normally there's a little more cross stitch than that. And there was like hardly any, and it was all interspersed. They just had all the hobby stuff interspersed in displays rather than like cross stitch on walls that you could, like the Puyallup Fair where near you, it's all like, here's all the cross stitch, here's all the photography. The photography and the paintings were all like that still, but the cross stitch was just like, here's a cross stitch, here's a cross stitch, here's knitting next to it, it was like more like displays.
I don't like that.
I didn't like that either because you couldn't just go see all the cross stitch kind of compared to each other. But the girls all got blue ribbons. So that was like very exciting for all of us. And Millie got a red ribbon for her painting, which she thought
was gorgeous.
It is really pretty. I'll try to put a picture of all of, I don't remember if I put a picture of all of those, but for sure I took a picture of her. Well, I took a picture of everything at the fair. So I'll put those at the end.
That's what I saw. Yeah, that's what I saw.
And her painting is really pretty. But I think she thinks that it was fair that it was red because there's a little girl who had a bunch of drawing / watercolors in there that were her age. She was her age, but they were like better than some of the amateur professional stuff. So she, in comparison, she's like, yeah, I guess I can see why I got red but not blue.
Yeah, but it was
thankfully she wasn't disappointed, but hers is really pretty. It's a lighthouse and it was watercolor. It came out of her mind. She just painted it.
And the second place ribbon is still better than
proud of her. Yeah, I mean, it means she did a good job. So
she did do a good job. Cool.
So that was fun. We went to the fair this week and got to see those. And so speaking of Hawk Run, this is where I am on this square. So
you're almost done with the water.
I have a fish and then the rest of the water. And then I think just the black border around. Let me double check. Yep. And then just the black border around it. And then it's done. It's just not even a very big fish. It's that little yellow guy up there.
Wow.
I'm very close to finishing this square.
Yes, you are.
If I really focused on it this week, I could finish it this week. There's not that much left.
Yeah.
So maybe I will make that a goal this week. Anyways, that's everything I worked on. It was quite a bit, but it has been 2 weeks. So
yeah.
What did you work on?
What did I work on? Well, I worked on. Well, we have a SAL going, a Shepherd's Bush SAL going, and I got a late start on mine.
That's the other thing. I forgot my Shepherd's Bush SAL. I think I left it over there when I moved over here. That's okay.
Well, you can look at it.
I will.
I'm doing, so this started on September 18th, and I think we're going till November. When are we stopping it, honey, for prizes?
Like, I wrote it down.
Anyway, so if you want to stitch a Shepherd's Bush, a brand new one you've got in progress, whatever, just send us a picture to that email address below that Sarah mentioned of your starting point. And then towards the end, when you're done.
Email by Halloween.
By Halloween.
You're ending.
You're ending. So you can do it.
Doesn't have to be finished. Just your ending point.
Show your progress. And you want those in the same email, right? Starting in it. You don't.
It's okay. I've had some people email me their starting and then I'll just watch for their finish.
Okay.
So that's fine. There's only a few of us, but yeah.
Yeah. I started Shepherd's
It's not too late to join. So do it.
Yeah, join in. You got a month. It's a Shepherd's Bush called Harvest Home Scissor Fob.
Cute.
It says Harvest Home with those pumpkins, but anyway, so I'm starting down here with this house. So tiny, I can't even put a hoop on it.
Oh,
This is the windows and the door, and then up here will be the roof. So it's not much, but it's a start. I got started finally.
I'll show mine since we're. So
Yeah.
this is the one I started. I meant to show this and then it fell on the floor when I moved everything over.
Yeah.
I feel like I got a pretty good start.
You got a really great start on it. I love the colors.
Santa, some trees. I know this is all their kits, so I didn't choose any of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's everything I've done. I know.
Super cute.
There's something that I've always loved working about shepherd's bush. Like, I think it's that the motifs tend to be sort of small and they're, I don't know. I just really love stitching shepherd's bush. I just love it. I forget until I start again. I'm like, oh yeah, I just love stitching this. Probably all those years.
One of my Whipco calls was my Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. And I'm working on this behemoth building.
It makes me think of my square I'm doing with the like house and then the fill in.
Oh, I had already done all of the light.
Oh wow, look at you.
So I basically filled in those windows and did that border.
Nice job.
There's a lot to go on this. There's another whole one of these over here.
On the other side, yeah.
And a fence down here.
I know, I saw it.
A lot to go, but I did get my 4 hours.
Too? Is the ground filled in or no?
Yes.
Or is it just the fence?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's pretty much full coverage almost minus the sky.
It is. Yeah. There's a big piece.
Which is like how my square was too.
Yeah. So I did not get 4 hours in, so that's going to have to happen this month too. It wasn't called again this month, but I'll catch up.
I don't know what was called this month.
1 and 6, I believe.
Oh, I should look at what mine is.
So for me, it's it's a Biscornu that I already finished, so I get to just mark that off. And then my Ring Around the Rose Tree is coming back out again.
Oh, mine is going to be Snow Queen and Tiny Traveler.
I think when I finish this one, or when I finish the other Whipco call, which is my hoity-toity, one of those gives me a bingo.
Oh.
I think. Anyway, okay. So then I also worked on my historical sampler company calendar piece, and that was actually I think I already showed it last week, and then but I finished it. So I think I'd already shown. Oopsie, hold on.
Now you're ready to start October.
I am. So I
finished
radishes. I changed this color. I had a little run-in with losing the color. I had to go to the store and try to remember which color it was. So that was a pretty simple square. The next one is a pumpkin. No, it's a witch's hat. Somebody else I saw took a pumpkin pattern from one of Chelsea and Priscilla's patterns.
Oh.
And used it but I'm just going to do the little witch's hat.
You should put a little, I don't know, button or something on it.
A button?
Wouldn't it be fun to embellish each square after you're done with some different button?
Yeah, good.
I don't know. I think that would be cute. It's the kind of pattern that would look cute with.
Yeah. Yeah. I just was thinking today, I got to figure out what I'm going to do next year for if I was going to do just a seasonal, or if I was going to try. There's so many cute patterns.
I know. I'm doing too.
I just don't know what to do.
Yeah, okay. I forgot to bring my charger over. So
okay. For the letter W, I worked on my winter Quaker. And now keep in mind, these were the ones that I was behind on. And so I just did an hour.
Yeah, I was like that with
previous the month. I would work on them all evening. So, oops, upside down. So what you can't see very well is there's Algerian eyelets in the corner of that square.
Are those the ones where you go around and like a ton of stitches so that it pulls like a hole kind of
into the middle? Yeah. Yeah. And then I started this little motif down here. So I framed that all in. That wasn't a ton, but it's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to kind of pattern. So the Algerian eyelets, when you look at the pattern, because she has directions kind of all over the page. They're not like, yeah. Anyway, so she says dark gray Algerian islets do this many strands of this color, medium strand, medium, but
her directions for the stockings I'm doing are the same, like medium trees, one strand, such color, large trees. And I'm kind of like, which ones are the medium? Which ones are the small?
well, this is not
all the same. It's a little tricky.
So like that would be, these are all Algerian islets. So those are the dark ones, right?
Oh, wow.
And then, let's see here.
Oh, excuse me.
Those are the dark. And then these are the ones I just did, and they would be considered the medium.
Mm.
And then I had to keep looking to think what, and then these ones are the light ones.
Mm. Mm-mm.
So the medium and dark at first looked the same to me, and then I realized, oh no, they're not. So I had to kind of take a little bit of time to figure that out. So I didn't stitch. Yeah, so that was my W. And I'm just looking at my phone here. The last one that was called was F.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I pulled out my flea market flowers from Fat Quarters
Oh.
shop. If you're not familiar, it's this pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing it on black because I'm nuts. So like that goes going right. So I basically did I think this, and then all of this.
That looks really nice on that fabric.
Yeah, the pinks are kind of, the pinky coral are kind of washing out tonight.
Mm.
I changed those colors up a little bit. I'm not sure I 100% like them, but I'm not changing them. Not ripping that.
Yeah.
This once I got going on this, I kind of kept working on it because to get my eyes acclimated to the, it's 32 count black.
Mm-hmm.
Took me a while to get going on it. So that was my F. And then did I show squirting around last time?
I thought so. Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did. Because okay. Go bye-bye. Did I show? Oh, I don't think I did. Jarvin Privé.
I can't remember if you showed it or just said that you were going to work on it.
I didn't, because I only did it like barely an hour on this. And I made a mistake somewhere. And so I was really disgusted with myself. And I'm not sure if I'm going to just try to, I couldn't figure out the mistake.
You shouldn't fudge it, probably. Well, it depends on where you made the mistake.
Well, I just can't figure out. Yeah.
Because everything is very lined up like a quilt.
I know. And everything looks lined up in most areas. And then when I go to count, it's not, it's weird.
You should have had me look at it.
I should have. I totally forgot about it. Here, it's coming out. So I really just basically did this and this.
What's off?
These.
What? And they're off compared to the.
Compared to this.
Okay.
Compared to that. But that lines up with that. This lines up with that. This lined up with that. But these aren't lining up.
Weird.
And I'll look at it again and try to figure it out. I thought, well, maybe I did one too many stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's, I don't know. I'll have to look at it again when I'm more in a better mood. But
yeah,
I thought this should not be this hard.
No, that's not. I mean, but you don't want to mess around probably with that pattern. Like I said, everything is lined up so that it's really noticeable if it's not symmetrical.
Then for K, it was Krennic because I'm doing the freebie Angel from Lavender and Lace from 2001.
So pretty.
And I did get quite a bit done on her.
Sorry. Oh no.
I know. Well, okay. I did all of this.
Wow. Really pretty.
For that. And all of that red, those empty spots.
So cute.
Those little motifs are red Krennic.
Oh, red Krennic. Oh. Well, at least you won't have to stop and start and stop and start. You can just go across, which I think is the most annoying thing when you have Krennic and you have to I think starting and stopping and threading and unthreading, and
I gotta figure out how I'm
I'm
gonna
always
get that.
threading my needle. That's the worst.
Yeah.
I need to use probably a needle threader when I use Kreinik.
Yeah, I bought several different kinds because I'm gonna have to.
Mm-hmm.
Heather Miller talked about Kreinik and gave some tips, and I'm still like, I'm still having a rough time. Okay, then the last one, my last one that I did for ABC Go was my hoity-toity. I'm still working on page 1,
Mm-hmm.
and I did all of this.
Oh,
From here over is
like my alpaca farm, just itty bitty.
It is. It's like 1/1 on 20.
So dainty.
So I'm gonna have to tackle this border pretty soon. I'm kind of avoiding it.
Well, once you do the like actual thing, isn't it just fill in black?
Well, in the past, I've done the black and then tried to fill the motifs in.
Ooh.
But I'm gonna do it differently. I'm gonna do the motifs first and then fill in.
For sure. I don't know why you would do it that way.
I don't know.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Kind of has been. And the last thing that I worked on and I finished was my Vivaldi 4 Seasons Girls. I finished my fall girl. I got it all rolled up here, really nice. She's all done.
Aww.
And I just printed my working copy of the winter one, so I get to start my winter girl. It's kind of crooked there, but and here's the piece.
Oh, so pretty. That's really pretty.
I really do love this piece.
Where are you going to put that when you finish it?
I don't know. Where
are you going to put it when you finish it?
Smells.
Smells like what? Your hand?
Sweaty hands, maybe.
Sweaty hands. My joyful world smelled for a while.
No, it's like the fabric has a, I don't know, some kind of a weird fabric smell. Anyway, it shows. Maybe I'll put it right behind me so that.
That's what I was gonna say. I think you should frame it and put it right behind you.
Yeah, at least in this house. So anyway, I just have the winter girl to go. So I've kind of kept up with my goal.
You have.
The only month I was behind on was summer, but I finished it pretty quickly after the.
Yeah, you did.
And I got this done right on the nick of time. I think I finished it the first day of fall. So that is that. That is all I do believe I worked on.
I have some haul, just a little. Well, one thing I wanted to say thank you to, and I am totally blanking on who sent it to me, but if you're watching and you sent it to us, that game, Calico, we got a game in the mail.
Oh, I didn't know that.
From somebody who had bought it for her to play with her daughter who has disabilities. But she was hoping she could modify the game. And I'm so sad that I should have double checked the card and who it was, because it's late and my brain doesn't function anymore, but past like 9 o'clock. But the game wasn't really modifiable. And so it's adorable. It's a cat. You should look it up. If you have people in your life who like games, especially little girls, maybe, but not too little, because it's a complicated kind of game. Has lots and lots of little parts, and it's so cute. So we played that the other night and it was really fun. So we ended up with a really sweet gift from somebody who had a game that they just
here at my house, and I wondered where that had come from.
Oh, it was so fun to play too. The girls really enjoyed it. And the kitties there's a couple kitties in the game that look just like our kitties. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then I have a little yarn haul. I got this. I'm going to make a hat for that baby who didn't get a gift. I think I'm just going to
love those colors. Those are
I know. I thought this is the one I needed. I think I'll do the hat out of these. Rosie would probably love a pair of socks out of like these. So, or maybe 2 of those striped or something. So I got that. And then my big fun. Oh, well, it was my birthday gift from my mom. So you've already seen this because she showed this when she got it, but she gave this pattern and kit to me for my birthday because
she said she really loved it.
I really love it. I love the colors. I love the pattern. I just think it's super cute.
You know, this subscription box, I'm so impressed with them.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I'm paying for them. I don't think I'm paying a ton of money. It's under 50. I wouldn't have done anything. I think it's $30 maybe a month, but you get everything you need. It's got the mat. It's got frame,
everything.
the canvas to put that on, the fabric, the sticky stuff to stick it on there, all the floss.
Yep, the whole thing.
Yeah, they're really nice.
So that was really cool.
Cute set of pins in there.
So fun.
Yeah.
And then the big thing that I have that's really exciting was a gift from mom and dad, and it's a Kindle. It's an Android Kindle, not Kindle. Tablet. I'm so used to saying Kindle because we've had Kindles. Tablet.
Get ready for bed.
Oh,
hi, Dad.
It's bedtime for Dad.
I have Pattern Keeper now, and I can do my hate on it, and it's amazing. Oh, look at that. There we are. Ooh, like mind blowing. And I love it. I haven't even stitched with it, but I took so let me show you what I've been doing. I think I've showed this. Have I showed this? I have been using Knit Companion, which is an app that you can get on Apple products, which is all I really had right now. I wasn't going to use my Kindles because they aren't consistent enough. We have constant trouble with Kindles. Actually, the one you gave Millie recently is working well, and I'm using it a lot for Liddy's school books, but all of our other Kindles just eventually. So I didn't want to get anything on Kindle. So I got this Knit Companion, and this is how I've been stitching my Haid.
You showed that to me last night, and I'm like, what?
So Knit Companion, now that I've used Pattern Keeper, I would 100% not recommend Knit Companion. I would recommend getting a tablet and putting Pattern Keeper on. Because this, I would have to go and highlight with like my finger as if my finger was a pen on each thing that I had stitched.
On a little swoop that you weren't sure about what you had done.
And because sometimes I would forget to turn off the editing, the highlighting, which you should do before you move it, because if you don't, you might end up with something. Let me see, I can't do it mirrored. It's a little like this. You don't know.
I'm sure if those were completed stitches because she didn't have her piece.
No, for sure some of those are not complete. Some of them are, but I for sure know that some of those aren't. So I accidentally my finger bumped it and I didn't notice it. And so I was sort of starting to worry a little bit about how I was going to do this long term. But I got through 1,000 stitches that way at least. So it was
a sense of disaster was on the horizon, though.
I could use different colors to show where I'd parked. So I'm starting to figure out my system at least, which is kind of good because then it made me understand how to use Pattern Keeper. Actually, once I plugged in my pattern to Pattern Keeper, it was like, oh, I know exactly what I want to do, and I understand exactly how I'm going to do it and how I'm going to mark it. So it was kind of my trial run.
Well, and that tablet is the one that Carolyn Zook talked about that she uses, and she really recommended it as being a really, it's not cheap, but it's not like $500 by any means, and it's perfectly great for Pattern Keeper.
It's high joy.
I'm going to get that for Sarah for her
birthday.
It. And I had talked about it with my husband and explained why and blah, 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 blah. And I thought, well, I'll put one of those on my Christmas list because I could quickly see the writing on the wall with my Haid that.
I looked at what you were using and I was like, I would rather use my phone for sure.
So for my 40th anniversary, my husband got me a tablet too.
Yay. So now we have twin tablets.
And so I had Pattern Keeper, and Sarah helped me figure out how to work it last night. And hopefully I can remember how to do it when I actually get on there. But I can totally see how this is going to be better than what I was doing on the paper. I mean, I could make the paper work.
Oh yeah, I could make my phone work forever.
Yeah, but
this is going to be really much nicer.
We sat up last night trying to figure out how to work this and get our patterns on it. And
I was trying to explain to Dad why it was so great. And I felt like he was like, great. I'm not, it's not coming through to you how great this is. And then I tried to explain it to Jesse and I showed him and he was like, okay, that's great. I don't get why it's so great, but
I think Dad got me one because he's afraid I'm never going to finish that piece. It's really important to him that
I'm going to get it for free and not pay for it.
Well, it's your lifetime project. I wanted you to be able to finish it. I better
If
not
you've
ever give
invested
up
all
on
that money in the flosses.
I better not ever give up on that one. Do you have any other haul?
No, I can't think of anything else.
I have a little bit, just a little
I
bit.
have 2 DMC flosses for my Haid that I was missing for the pattern, but
I did buy the October Just Cross Stitch magazine.
oh, that's right.
This
Mhm.
Hope Springs Eternal every month. I'm like, and this one did not disappoint. There are some cute little things, and I'll show the one that I like the most in it.
Do you not flip through it before you buy it?
Nope.
Oh, see, I would always flip through it to see if it was worth buying.
I like to
I'm
come
too
home.
frugal.
I like to come home and sit down and just
Oh,
be
I
disappointed.
always flip through first and see if there's anything I want to stitch in it.
Okay, so I'll show you.
And then I
just
usually
found
don't
the
buy it
hoop.
because I'm like, I have a million patterns that I'd probably rather stitch, so then I never buy it.
Fall Friends.
That one's cute.
They have
I
little
think I flipped through
copies.
this, did I? Oh, I started, but then we were talking about
Yeah,
something.
I love that one. That is by
That's cute.
Pixel Pixie Cross Stitch. This is really cute, and it uses something I never heard of. It's sulky acrylic petites, and you brush the fibers when you're done.
Oh,
So I can't.
I have heard of something like that. Do you do that with that?
It's kind of. Let's see if it'll focus. It's kind of fuzzy. I don't know if the fuzzy is coming through.
Yeah,
There we
kind of.
go. But then if I show you, this is what it looked like before you brushed it.
Oh,
So you
oh.
got that, and then you get that. So
Almost
you look
watercolory looking after.
Yeah.
Blend,
yeah.
almost it blends it almost.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I thought that was really kind of cute.
That's
Maybe
cool.
something fun to try. And then there was another little animal one. Maybe it was just, oh, this is kind of a hoot. Sweater weather. It's this cat on a bike with a sweater on. I would change the colors on the sweater.
Mm-hmm.
This one intrigues me a lot. I don't know if I would ever do it, but this really intrigued me.
Oh. It's like
I don't know. I
Macbeth.
love
That's what
the
think of.
blues.
Scary.
Huh?
Makes me think of the scary witches in Macbeth.
Yeah. I don't know. I just love the trees. I love the blues, purpley sky.
Weird sisters.
It's a solid stitch. And then there was one more.
Yeah, that's a lot of stitching on that.
This is by Nikki's Creations. It's kind of cute. Little fall motif.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. So I feel like there was one other one that I really, really liked at the front, but maybe it was just those little friend guys.
Hmm.
But anyway, so this was kind of different. Cabin with a View.
Oh, I saw that one pointed that one out.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, and that's by Lucy Laux from Lucy Laux, LAUX Designs. Anyway, so there's that. And then I finally got my Needlework Expo order from Garan. They were waiting on one of my patterns.
Hmm.
So one of the patterns that I really just loved was this Chrysanthemum House. Chrysanthemum House by Pansy Patch Quilt. She had a series of these.
Hmm.
I don't know. I just love the fallishness of that.
Mm.
And then I got this Carriage House Samplings garden sampler. It's ABC.
Oh, that's pretty.
Isn't that? So there's like E for eggplant, W for watermelon.
Cute.
I
Oh,
love
that's
the
cute.
colors. Look at the nest.
Yeah, each thing has its thing.
Uh-huh.
Letter has a little motif, but they're all connected. J for
Uh-huh.
Jackrabbit, N for Nest.
Yeah, I just really loved it.
That
Look at
nest
the
they
colors.
just took right out of Spring at Hawk Run Hollow and planted
Huh?
it there.
What?
That nest they took right out of Spring at Hawk Run Hollow, simplified it, down,
Yeah.
planted
Yeah.
another.
That. And then I got this one. I just couldn't let go of this one. It's from Sweet Wing Studio called The Singing Sparrow, and it's his eye is on the sparrow.
Oh, that's a nice
Watches
one.
Over Me, which I've always loved that song.
That's pretty.
Uses classic color works and general arts. But anyway,
Pretty.
I really love that. So those came. That was kind of a fun treat. So yeah, that's about all my haul. I think. Got my tablet. Very excited about that.
Me too.
And I've had mine for a couple of weeks, but I didn't want to show it or tell anything about it until you got yours. So
I see. Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. So Sarah did not do her magazine monthly challenge yet for
No,
October.
I haven't had time.
The theme is choose your own holiday, and then the acrostic is festive.
Choose your own holiday. Which holiday you want to work on?
Mhm.
Oh.
So magazine monthly.
Oh, I'm going to choose Halloween, and it'll line up with that 15, 13.
Right. Magazine monthly is a group run by Carolyn Zook and Robin Hall on Facebook, and they ran the AB Singo event. It's kind of a special pop-up event, but then every month they have this monthly challenge. And it started off, your theme piece needed to be like a magazine piece, because it was all about, we all have these magazines and we always mark patterns and never stitch them. But now people are also stitching other things.
Like me. And I think everybody else kind of is too.
Carolyn Zook's even done it. She's the leader, so I don't feel bad about that.
I started a trend.
Anyway, so
I started a trend to break the rules.
I did go through all my fallish, winterish, well, not all my winter, but most of my fall, and decided what I wanted to work on because I wanted to focus on fall. And so I'll just start with what I picked up. So for the tea, I picked my Tempting Tangles design, Red Finch's Winter Song. Silvery Dusk and Blushing Dawn, the Red Finch sings the winter song. And so I started this, I think, a year ago or 2 years, a year ago, I think. And it's on a very dark blue fabric.
That's pretty.
There you go. Yeah. So that is for my tea, because it's Tempting Tangles. And for F, I wanted to start this Stitch Quarterly pattern that I got from, where are they? That Quarter Shop.
Oh,
Fall is in
I don't know.
I love that.
I'm like hardly awake right now. How will I know that?
So I'm going to start that.
That's cute. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to start it on the Ada, if I'm going to get a different fabric out of my stash. We'll see.
You're going to like working on Ada.
I know. I might just stick with Ada. S is Spooky, and this is a piece I started last year, and it is by Primitive Stitchin' Shelly Auen, A-U-E-N, and I don't know if she's maybe not alive anymore or doesn't stitch anymore. I can't find anything out. She has an Etsy shop. I bought this on Etsy, but nothing ever gets updated. But it's the spooky shoe with the spider and the cat.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
And I started it last year on this really grungy fabric. So I really want to get that done, make it into a little pillow. I forgot to put my Halloween pillows out. On my,
now it's October.
I know. And then what's this piece hiding in here? Oh, this bag always gets stuck. I was having a terrible time with the 2 E's. So this is the piece I got. Oh, I really do not have a very big start on this. It's Harvest on Dahlia Ridge.
Oh yeah, you just started a tiny bit.
I got part of a bird. I think I'm missing a color there. The E is because embellishments are included.
Wow.
I was getting creative. I don't always get creative like that. This is another lame attempt at E. It's my Cricket Creek winter collection because there's an E in winter.
Also, is it Cricket? Oh, I thought you said the Cricket Creek. Oh, Cricket Collection. The E in that, so
yeah, cross-eyed. There you go, cross-eyed cricket. That's one of my other E's.
Okay, sometimes I'm like eyed, cross-eyed cricket. There's an E in eyed, so it'll count.
My focus piece for the month I just picked Thanksgiving because I really wanted to work on this. It's called Thankful, and part, and I worked on it a little bit a couple months ago. So it's those fun trees. Autumn trees, and it looks like nothing without the back stitching and stuff.
Oh, you've gotten a lot done on that.
I do. My goal is to finish this one. I think I started it in November last year. And it was in Just Cross Stitch magazine, December 2021, but that must have come out in November because I know I didn't start this in December. And then the last thing is for it is the the V in festive is my Vivaldi Four Seasons girls.
Right.
Plug them in. The I is I bring thee joy by Pineberry Lane. It's very hard to see because it's very pale. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's my plans. And then I kind of did a wheel with a bunch of other fallish pieces that I want to work on during the month. So focus on these, but then build in some of the other ones. Yeah. And then I gotta get Ring Around the Rose Tree out again.
Because that's your whip go.
Yeah. What did you figure out your whip go was? Did you say
my whip go is Snow Queen and
right.
my tiny traveler Hade.
Yeah. Okay.
And my goal this week is to finish the knitting that I'm doing. I want to finish that. I want to have it done before. I don't want to give her a partially finished thing. So my goal is to finish those. And then I will make my magazine monthly board. But there was something else. But then so there's somebody on Instagram named Athena Cross like X Stitches, Athena X Stitches, and I'll tag her in this. And she's doing kind of a stitch along type thing. Hashtag is 13 stitches of Halloween. So let me see if I can pull it up. Are you pulling it up?
No.
I can find it easily, really quick.
Oh, I can. I was just looking at the
I've got it. It's just let me find which day it is. Here, you can go find her here, or I'll do like an @ Athena Stitches, and maybe that will take you to her, or at least you can see it and then follow her. Join me for some frightful stitching. Hashtag 13 stitches of Halloween begins October 1st, ends October 31st. Her comments are, use the hashtag to show off all your Halloween stitching this October. 13 whips, 13 starts, 13 days. Whatever way you want to join in, please do. I have chosen 13 projects to work on this October that includes a mix of starts and whips. So feel free to share the graphic, which I did and you did. And I think I'm going to do it. And I think I'm going to focus for 13 days this month on my Tunnel of Trees Halloween piece that I love. I'm not going to have it done, I'm sure, this fall. There's still so much stitching to do.
A lot to do on that, yeah.
But I just like working on it, and this is a fun time of year to work on it. So it'll be fun to participate in this little challenge and do that. I was trying to think of how to incorporate another 13 minutes for 13 days, but 13 minutes is hardly any stitching. So I want to do more than that. I thought, I could do 130 stitches a week or something, but nah, I'm just going to do 13 days, as much stitching as I want to on each of those on that one project. Right. It's really my only Halloween project. I don't really have any other Halloween.
I don't know. Do you think fall projects could count? Or just Halloween?
Well, kind of weird to tag Halloween stitching.
I know.
Down for fall, unless it's
I have that autumn posy, which is kind of a fallish. It's not, I would put it out for Halloween.
I guess you could.
I have Pumpkinhead Girl from Emily Call.
Well, I would call her Halloween.
Oh yeah, for sure she is. Spooky would go in there. You just do 13 days of Halloween stitching. Yeah.
And you just choose which patterns are Halloweenish.
Work on those two.
So if you were going to join in too, go ahead. We're just
13 days on each of those. That's what I'll do. 13 days on each of those.
Oh yeah, that would take you up to the 26th. That's a good idea.
Well, I'm 2 days behind, so I got to crack a lack in here.
It'll take you up to the 28th.
Better start tonight.
Yeah, so I thought that would be fun because I've been kind of wanting to focus on that piece a little bit because it's this is the month and it's trick-or-treating and that's
totally a mood piece.
So I'll work on that some this week too.
Yeah,
that's really my main plans. Make my magazine monthly challenge board and work on it. And I think having done the AB Singo and I touched all these projects made me really want to, like, all of those projects I feel motivated to keep working on because I've already. So it's kind of, I'm feeling antsy and I haven't really had much stitching time the last few days because I've been knitting and traveling. Like, it's just been.
Well, a few of mine I worked on. I'm like, I'm not dying to work on these anymore.
Ready to shove those in the bin and never see them again.
Not till next year's AB Singo when I need an I. Or a J.
Or a J or X, or no, X is easy.
Q. Winter Quaker. All my Quakers will be my Qs from now on.
Yeah.
Can't ever finish those.
We did have a giveaway last time, so we have a winner for
We don't have one today, though. I don't have it.
no, we don't have a new one. Guys, feel lucky that you even have a video.
Yeah.
It might be a terrible video, but
Oh my gosh, it's 10:30, sir.
I know.
We're giving away. It's
You're
spring
giving away
fever.
yes, and it was birds was the word. And I'm going to try to pronounce your last name. Feel free to correct me. The winner for this pattern is Lawana Maurer. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Maurer. You know who you are. And so congratulations that you won this pattern. And go ahead and email me at the address below, your physical address. Feel free to stick in there what you won, just in case there's ever any confusion or I lose it. Go ahead and say, I won spring fever. Here's my mailing address, and we'll get that sent off to you.
I am behind. I think I'm behind again.
Did you send off the shepherd's bush one?
Yes.
Oh, good. That's the only one I care about. Because like you could get this in time to stitch it.
Yeah, no, I tried to do that one right away. Maybe I'm not. Well, oh no, we were going to give this away closer to October. I'm just looking really quick here to make sure. Oh no, I haven't mailed out Pumpkin Hollow Farms. I'm just going to look for the fabric for that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right. Yeah, I better.
That one was going to Teresa.
Somebody that's understanding. Well, everybody's been really understanding. I shouldn't say it that way. I think that's all. I think it's just that one and
that one.
Now this one. Yeah.
Great. Okay.
If you are waiting for one and
I have not sent out those Winnie the Pooh things yet.
Okay.
I don't know why they got tucked away, and I just
Yeah.
But I will try to get those out maybe this week.
Okay. I'm just trying to put these. They don't blow away here. Got a mess going here on my desk, and I got to work tomorrow.
I know. Well, we should probably.
Well, yeah.
So Christine is the winner of the Pooh one, and I will try to get that sent out to Christine. I'm sorry, I'm so slow.
Yeah, but that I'm sure she'll probably not dying to start those this second. But we'll get it. Yeah, I think that's all the business we got.
Yeah. So, and I don't have any like brain cells left for a lot of chat. So
I'm still reading With Love from London.
Oh yeah, you are, and I'm still reading Misery. Oh boy, you guys, I'm not sure I can watch it. Like I don't like the stuff I just recently read. I was like, I'm not sure I could see this come to life in front of me.
Yeah, you can.
Super intense.
I don't. Yeah.
Maybe it would be less intense because it wouldn't be told first person. There, like maybe it would be a little different. It's so intense. And I'm like, and there was like a glimmer of hope that he'd be saved, which of course did not materialize because of death and murder. It's just really intense. So I'm still reading Misery, but I'm coming close to the end. But like, I won't read it tonight because Jesse's not home, and I don't want to read it in bed alone, like, and go to sleep. But I have been reading it before bed occasionally, and then I'm reading the Silmarillion still, among other school books. But for like school books for Liddy.
I was going to mention. This is really off topic, but it's just something that I have found really interesting, and my husband actually has kind of gotten interested in this guy. It's a YouTube channel that I've been watching. Called, his name is Jake, Jake, Bro, Broe. He does a lot of rundowns on the Ukrainian war. He is a youngish guy. I mean, he must not be terribly young because he's retired out of the military, our military, as a captain. So he knows military stuff.
Sorry, I glanced at myself and I realized I looked like.
Oh,
wake up.
Boring, or I don't find this boring. He's very, very good. He curates a lot of articles from around the internet and gives his spin, and he knows what he's talking about. I feel he's very credible and very succinct and but hopeful. Like, you know, he's, even when things were, I think, darker. I watched him a little bit when the war first broke out, and then I kind of forgot about him, and now He's popping up. He's doing more. He used to be like an economist kind of YouTuber. And but he knows, I just feel like he really knows what he's talking about when it comes to military. And what I really, really love about it, well, not really, I mean, I do love this, is that every episode that he does about Ukraine, when he ends it, he shows he'll show a video that he's found either on Twitter or of Ukrainian soldiers, because he calls them the true heroes. They're the true heroes, and doing something out in the field. Like one night recently, it was a video of a Ukrainian soldier standing on a kind of on a hill, the sunset behind him, and he plays the violin, and he's playing the violin as the sun's going down, and it was just really beautiful. And it was just, and then he just I think he just, I'm sure they're not watching him, but I think it's just his way of giving them tribute. And he always ends it with glory to Ukraine, glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes, or whatever. I don't know if he's Ukrainian, maybe he's got Ukrainian background, but if you're interested at all in what's going on, kind of because I'm not on Twitter, and I'm not reading a bunch of Twitter accounts about the war, but he gets a lot of stuff on there, and a lot of commentary on the sad shape of Russia's army. And I think for me, it's probably my generation growing up in the Cold War. Russia was the mighty enemy. Russia was our competitor. Russia was as strong as we were. And I'm looking at this war going, what happened to this country? Because they're giving their people like World War I and World War II equipment. And I'm like, what happened? It's just kind of mind blowing to me that they seem so far behind when they've always been this big, mighty Russia. And so anyway, he's very interesting. They're not real long videos, maybe 15 minutes or whatever. And he does
EROE.
EROE.
I'll put him down below.
Yeah. Anyway, I've just enjoyed it. It's kind of especially now because so much is happening. He showed a hilarious video tonight of these Ukrainian soldiers that had because they just took over a city that just was supposedly annexed. And these soldiers, there's probably, I don't know, 15 of them, and they're going down a dirt road, and there's music set to this video, and they're dancing. They're kind of dancing and hopping all around the road, and just really happy. And you can tell that the morale is just really up right now for them. And there was another video of them like a compilation of Ukrainian soldiers interacting with wildlife out in the woods, or like a dog that they found, and just keeping their sense of humor and their camaraderie going. And
by the way, when we say Ukrainian soldiers, it's like just people, like civilians that have now had to join up a lot of the time. Like we say soldiers, but it's not like people who are career militaries a lot of the time. It's just like Jesse or whatever.
I know. It's shocking to me.
I know.
You know what else is shocking to me? I saw another video from somebody else of these men that got mobilized in Russia, and they're in a barracks area, and they're fenced in. There's no food. And their people, their family members are sneaking over to the fences and throwing food in for these soldiers, because if the commanders see it, they steal it for themselves.
Right.
That's hard.
And it's all like, I'm seeing lots of stuff about how like the people that are getting snatched away to be forced to serve in the military are older men, like dad's age. Maybe not quite dad's age, but like 50s. There's no like
there's a lot of talk about the fact that he's pulling from a lot of the eastern provinces where there's a lot of ethnic minorities that he's really super weird about everything. And so it's like he doesn't want to pull from Moscow and St. Petersburg. And so those other provinces, they're just pulling these men. And some thought is that he's happy to send them to the front lines, because then Ukrainian soldiers can just kill these people and he doesn't have to.
Right. They'll just do the euthanization that he
and so it's it's these 50, and they're showing up drunk, a lot of these men, to the mobilization centers. It's shocking.
So it's sad. I feel sad for Russia. Like
I do. And I follow a lot of Russian English speaking YouTubers that had fled, and my heart breaks for them.
Yeah.
But they're anti-war, they're anti this war. They've got family in Ukraine. They're like, I am not going to go and fight And
you
one guy
protest and you're in jail. I mean, they're beating you down in the street, which I'm seeing, I'm seeing those kinds of videos about.
It's awful. It's really awful. And they're desperate. A lot of these men that have families are desperate. So anyway, give him a listen, because it's, it could be considered propaganda, pro-West propaganda, but I think it's the truth. I think he's sharing real. I don't think he would be lying about.
I feel like there's not a lot of argument in my mind that Ukraine, like, I know that there's a spin that propaganda is going the other way, that Russia is not the aggressor, but it's very obvious if you're actually watching what's happening that Russia is the aggressor here, and Ukraine is now just fighting for survival and pushing them back.
Yeah. And he talked about, I did not know this, but Russia is occupying some land on the border of Georgia, which I thought Georgia was totally free from them. I don't know a lot about I know they've got a bad blood history. And there's also some occupation along the Moldova border, which borders really close to Ukraine. Because he was talking about the idea of if Putin does some short-term tactical nuclear weapons of mass destruction, we would not necessarily retaliate with nukes. He said within a weekend, we in the West could wipe out their entire Navy. We could wipe out their military installations in Moldova, in Georgia. We could cripple their communication. We don't have to use nukes. To do that. I think that's what everybody's afraid of. If he nukes Ukraine, then we're going to all be in a nuclear war. That's not necessarily the case.
Yeah.
And we would have to act then. I mean, it would bring the world in.
So it's really crazy, because Millie and I are reading a book that's written a while ago, but it's so not too long after World War II, walking through in detail the big picture politics of World War II. Like, I've read a lot about World War II, but nothing like this, where it's like the tactical, it's like what you're talking about, like this Jake Bro guy who kind of understands the tactical political pieces. I've known chunks and pieces of it, but reading this book with Millie, which she's catching a lot of it, but I'm sure there's some of it, it's a little bit over her head, but it's not over my head. So I'm reading it thinking, just watching, I think that some of the aftermath of that is still going on today. Like all of the, anyway, and
it's like the aftermath of World War I was still going on when World War II broke out.
Right. Like the decisions that were made after World War I are essentially why World War II was able to happen in Europe anyway.
He said, guess who the biggest supplier of armored vehicles is to Ukraine right now? And you would think, oh, probably us or Poland. It's Russia. They have captured so many of Russians. And they have repurposed them for themselves. And so the tanks were, they've got tanks from Russia, and then Poland was the next, I think the next biggest supplier of tanks to Ukraine, but other kind of armored vehicles, it was Russia. They've gotten 600 something thousand captured Russian vehicles. And then the next one is the US, and we've sent like 500 something. So it was like, I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And yet people in Russia still think they're winning the war. Well, they have been thinking. I don't think they're thinking it anymore.
For that, I think all of the mobilization would be a signal for a lot of people, like, oh, we're not doing so well.
They keep trying to tell the people that there's only been 5,000 Russian soldiers killed in 7 months.
Yeah.
No more than 5,000.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. And I keep looking at, was it you that we were talking? I said, I just can't believe that little Ukraine is still hanging in there. I mean, I thought it was just going to be a walkover in February. I thought they were just going to cream them out.
Well, it sure felt at some points like there's no way.
I know. Well, everybody was joking about how they get up in the morning to check to make sure Zelensky was still alive. I mean,
still kicking.
I know. I'm not Ukrainian, but I'm very proud of the Ukrainian people, what they've put up with and what they've endured.
Yeah.
For their land, and they're not going to stop.
Yeah, it's been horrific.
They're not. I really believe this. They're not going to stop. They're going to take Crimea back. They're done with that whole mess. I think. I really do. And I know that Zelensky's not going to bargain with Putin.
I hope
I think
not.
he said there'll be no peace talks as long as Putin's in power.
Yeah. Well, it's obvious that he's not trustworthy, so there's no point.
No. Anyway.
Hmm.
Yeah, so check that out. He's very informative. Sorry.
It's a little current events discussion. You know, these are things that we talk about around our dinner table all the time, but I bet a lot of people don't.
No.
But we talk about stuff, world events all the time.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. I don't know.
Well, and I don't think a lot of people don't really watch the news anymore, like the network TV news, like people used to. So where are the kids
Which
getting
I
that?
don't, but I read a lot of
Right. So
variety.
where are kids getting that?
Oh, yeah. And
Like,
just
I
a
would hear
plug for
things-
where we get it from is that so World News Group, which produces the magazine World,
Mhm.
it's a little more conservative than our Jesse and my than we are, but they have a kids news, like daily news program you can subscribe to. So if you're watching and you have kids or you know families who might like this, they do. So they're really high quality. They're really family friendly news. They're real news about what's really happening around the world, but they don't show anything really graphic. They'll give us a warning if there's something kind of sensitive that you're gonna, maybe for younger kids you might, but that has only happened like once, and it was about Roe v. Wade stuff, like in case you wanted to like avoid that discussion with your younger kids at this point or whatever. We've really enjoyed that. The girls ask every day, is there, can we watch that? We do it around breakfast, and I feel like it's sparked a lot of discussions, even if there's a spin that's a little more conservative than we personally like. I personally think it sparks a really good discussion about current events and the different viewpoints that people have and why people have them. And so if you want a source for news for your kids or your, I mean, it would be fun to watch as an adult, but it's definitely oriented towards kids,
right.
tone. But
and the goal as a parent is for your children to grow up and be critical thinkers.
Yeah, I want them to be able to understand this is why some people think this way, and this is why some people think this way. What do you think? Well, mommy, what do you think? Well, here's what I think, but what do you think? And that dialogue, we can feel safe to do that because there's not a lot of, they're going to disagree with me at some point in their life about politics and all the, like it's not, my goal isn't to indoctrinate them into my way of thinking. And so
none of my kids agree with me on politics.
No.
And that's just a testament of your children grow up and they form their own opinions.
Right.
You do the best you can, and then you're on. I think that my generation grew up watching the news over dinner. Like we had the TV on while we ate dinner. My dad would watch the news.
I grew up watching it when you were making dinner a lot of times.
Yeah, and we talked about it, at the dinner table probably a little bit, but I also just watched the news and knew what was going on. We didn't get it in school. Like I grew up in the Vietnam War, post-Vietnam War era. We never talked about Vietnam in school, ever. What's the matter?
I don't know. The dog must have just run off the porch and made a bunch of.
I know nothing about Vietnam. I know what I know about Vietnam, I've learned as an adult. We didn't touch any of those kind of current events in school. What I learned was what I saw on TV every night.
Right.
And so a lot of people don't have that on anymore. So if they're not watching it and spurring that conversation, then maybe a lot of kids aren't getting a lot of current events. So interesting. Yeah. So well, little current events, little late night show.
Well, I'll put that in our title: Smelly Fabric and Ukraine Discussion. That's what I'm calling this episode.
Okay.
I don't know. You have a better name? Tell it.
That sounds good to me. That sounds it in a nutshell.
It's intriguing.
Thank you for watching this long. Our episodes will be a little shorter after this because ABC goes gone.
Yeah, it'll be short. We won't have as many different things. But this was like, we started at 9:20. It's pretty typical. It's an hour and a half.
Yes. So okay.
Just very late for us here. Yeah. So
it feels longer, I think, because it's late.
Well, and I'm kind of hungry. I think I'm gonna have to go eat a piece of toast or something.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
So in 2 weeks, but life.
Have a good week. Have a happy stitching time.
Yeah.
Be safe.
And let us know if you're doing the Shepherd's Bush SAL. Email me your starting point and then your ending point at whatever, whenever you get to that. And we would love to see what you're working on. And
fun.
All right.
Bye-bye.